After serving 27 years in prison, Nelson Mandela helped end apartheid in South Africa and became his country's first democratically elected president.
Nelson Mandela taught the 21st century how to forgive.
Born in South Africa's Cape Province on July 18, 1918, Nelson Mandela joined the African National Congress Youth League in 1942 and directed acts of civil disobedience against the South African government.
Nelson Mandela was an ardent opponent of apartheid. He came from this traditional clan which had a reputation for being fierce warriors that fought white domination from the very beginning. And he felt it was his sacred mission to somehow rid his people from this scourge.
After the 1960 Sharpeville massacre, where police killed 69 and wounded 180 unarmed protesters, Mandela became more militant. 3 years later, Mandela and 10 others were sentenced to life in prison for sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government.
Throughout Nelson Mandela's career, he's had a very complex relationship with violence and nonviolence. Early in his career, he tried nonviolence. It didn't work, so then he tried violence. That's why he went to jail.
During his incarceration, Mandela gained international attention. On June 11, 1988, in celebration of his birthday, artists such as Peter Gabriel, Lou Reed, and Whitney Houston held a concert in London's Wembley Stadium, which the BBC noted as being the biggest and most spectacular pop political event of all time.
Nelson Mandela became internationally recognized because the anti-apartheid movement in America and around the world became international in the 1980s, and he just became this larger-than-life figure.
On February 11, 1990, South African President de Klerk released Mandela from prison. 3 years later, both men were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their work in ending apartheid. On May 10, 1994, at the age of 77, Mandela was elected president.
There never was one like him, and there probably never will be another like him. He was committed, once he got his career going, to not only liberating the South African people, but also being committed to human rights and human dignity.
In 2002, he was awarded the U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom, and 2 years later, Mandela formally retired from public life, but continued to work on global issues such as climate change, HIV, and human rights. Nelson Mandela died on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95.
When Nelson Mandela died, we lost a great human being. We lost an incredible statesman. We lost an incredible man.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, grade gators. Today we're going to say the 3 R's. Rule number 1, respect school and personal properties at all times. Rule number 2, respect ourselves and others with my words and my actions. Rule number 3, respect the learning environment, doing work and play.